All right, people, welcome. Harmless Dave here on the Harmless Dave channel, swerving wildly out of my lane for this amazing topic. And I'm going to have fun with it, even though I am so tired of the fear, the panic, the craziness, the news media. The news media! Please stop what you're doing. They're never going to stop. And I'm never going to stop either, doing what I do in real time for a few people out here just like you, just like me. Don't forget, buy me a coffee or a carbonated drink, okay? There you go. The coffee, we can convert the funds over. And there's also Patreon, YouTube memberships, PJ Rock, Super Chats, all that stuff. All right. So I'm reading this amazing story. The Hill has the story. News Nation. You can really trust News Nation. We're right down the middle. Right down the middle. They're not. They're boring too. News Nation is like taking a nap. I'm going to put News Nation on, honey, so I can fall asleep. That's what I'll do. Don't need the melatonin today. Doctors warn of a super flu dun 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 variant in hot spots like where? Like New York City. New York City. I can't believe it's happening in New York City. Now, cities across the nation are being hit with a new variant of influenza called subclade K. That just rolls off your tongue, doesn't it? Hey, I got the subclade K. What do you have? Well, I got a box of Special K. That's all I had on that. Sorry. It's been dubbed, though, a more catchy name than subclade K, the super flu, folks. Now, in recent years, like we've had these super moons out. You can't just have, this moon, the harvest moon or whatever. It's now a super moon because it's somewhat closer to the Earth by like, I don't know, 100 yards or something. So they're like, it's a super moon. It's bigger. It's better. It's super. Okay. Anyway, you got your super Walmarts, right? And now you got your super flu. And there are a lot of other super duper things out there. The super duper safe and effective shot. Easy for me to try to say, but New York is seeing the worst of it, folks, as the nation's largest city preps for the holiday tourist rush. All right, full stop here for a moment. Of course, they don't want you traveling. They don't want you enjoying life. Gas prices came down a little bit. They don't want you driving. Come on, stay home. Don't take an airplane. That's like you're in a tube trapped with a bunch of people flying at high altitudes, absorbing all of those floating particles into your bloodstream. So local officials, health officials or anti-health officials, reported nearly 14,000 new cases. Cases. Oh, man. Does that bring back memories for you with the case counts? The case counts. Every day, new cases, new cases. Like people couldn't get sick anymore without being documented. They can't document people who come in here from other countries, but they can document everyone who's got the flu or that other thing, okay? Anyway, 14,000 new cases in the month of December, which is a 460% increase compared to last year. Last year, they only had 2,500 cases in New York City in December. And the month ain't over yet, people. 14,000 new cases. So what are we going to do? Well, I'm thinking, like 9 million people or something like that in New York City. I don't know. There's a lot of people in New York City. Now, this next part of this, it's a little bit made for a comedy show. If you're an old school rock fan like I am, we see this sudden spike in New York because their population is more dense. They're a center for international as well as domestic travel. This, according to two names that don't go together, Dr. Ulysses Wu. Dr. Wu, chief epidemiologist at Hartford Hospital in Connecticut. This is what he told News Nation. Now, according to Steely Dan, right, and Walter Becker, he was talking about this song called Dr. Wu, right? Steely Dan's famous song. And he says it's about the uneasy relationship between the patient and the doctor. He says people put faith in doctors, yet they abuse their power and become dangerous. Wow, Walter Becker, the late great Walter Becker, words of wisdom from Steely Dan's classic song Doctor Wu, which could be about Dr. Ulysses Wu, but he is an epidemiologist. He's not a psychiatrist. So, I guess there's a difference. Probably not, though. Even with a slower start, 2024 was part of the most severe influenza season since 2017, according to the Centers for Disease and Chaos. I mean, the Centers for Disease and Controlling Your Life. This flu season started early, and it's made its mark around the globe despite peak season being still months away. Oh, the panic. Now, doctors warn that the very nasty mutated version of this particular flu, the so-called super flu, is already circulating in most corners of the country. Most corners? Just the corners? Or like in the middle? The corners, huh? Well, that's not too bad. It might be like Arizona and Washington, Maine, Florida. Florida? That's bad news for me. But anyway, those are the corners. The new variant emerged over the summer. Now, this is kind of interesting, right? Because we were hearing about this in like 2021, how these variants were mutating and so forth in the middle of the summer. Typically, don't these viruses get going, say, in the winter months? But this one emerged in several countries, including Japan, the United Kingdom, and Canada. Three countries that have something in common when it comes to lockdowns and protocols and all that good stuff and making sure you're up to date on your latest boosters. Yeah, there's nothing to see here. But that's where it all started. So you can blame the UK and Canada and Japan. Now, it's a mutation of the H3N2 visa program. No, I'm sorry, the H3N2 strain of influenza A, described by the World Chaos Organization as a seasonal respiratory infection caused by a virus. In other words, that's a flu. I mean, you use all this fancy verbiage here, and people are going to start panicking. They're going to lose their mind. They're like, this is the worst. What am I going to do? Well, of course, you got to go down to CVS, and they're going to tell you to do that. And you know what's interesting? Wait till I get to this part of the story. It's going to blow your mind. It's even better than Dr. Wu. Well, maybe not. Symptoms are similar for both influenza A and its subclade K variant, both of which are typically more serious than influenza B. So A is worse than B. That's why in the match game, most people took B. That's what I remember. Gene Rayburn, the match game. Great show, by the way. Pure comedy. Signs include fever. These are things that never happen. They never happen. Fever, cough, sore throat, congestion, body aches, headaches, fatigue, and this all according to the Centers for Disease and Chaos. Influenza A typically causes worse symptoms compared to B, and patients are more likely to get hospitalized with A compared to B. This, according to... Now, if you thought Dr. Wu was a great name for a doctor, an epidemiologist, this guy here who's an infectious disease specialist at the Cleveland Clinic, you know what his name is? Dr. Donald Dumford. D-U-M-F-O-R-D. Dumford. Could be Dumford. Wow. But he's an infectious disease specialist at the Cleveland Clinic. So good for him. He's on top of this. With a name like Dumford, you got to trust him. More so than Dr. Wu. Despite subclade K, I'm still going with this because it's entertaining, developing after this year's flu shot had already been created. Okay. Why am I going more with this? Follow me here. So subclade K developed after the flu shot had already been created. So, can someone tell me how something that was developed after subclade K came along, how it would know what subclade K was going to do? In other words, they had this on the market, and then comes subclade K. Now, I kind of messed that up a little bit, but think of it this way. You release something to the public for consumption for something that is already out there, but yet that thing mutates into something else. So why would this be effective fighting against the subclade K when it was developed long before they knew what the variant, what the mutation would be? Sorry about the arms. I'm getting a little agitated. 100,000 Americans died last year from a very robust influenza season. Now, I've said this before, putting out videos like this. When they say take it anyway, isn't that kind of like destructive? Like, we developed this for something completely different than what's currently out there, but take it anyway? I wanted a Chrysler. All right, well, you can't have the Chrysler, but drive it anyway. Drive the Dodge. It's the same thing. Well, it's made by the same company, but it's not the same car. And in this case, it's a lot worse than going from a Chrysler to a Dodge. This is like you're gambling with your health because they're telling you to keep taking this even though it was developed for something completely different. And they're telling you this in the article. It's not like they're disguising this. Even though subclade K, developed after this year's shot, had already been created. Just that one sentence. Okay, full stop. What do they say that you can do? Well, Dr. Wu is back with some recommendations. Wearing a mask. I want to wear one right now. Give me a mask. Covering your coughs and sneezes. Washing your hands. These are just amazing suggestions. Cleaning frequently touched surfaces. I thought when this stuff landed on a surface, it was like dead. That's what I was told. It's dead when it lands. It says if you get sick, doctors advise avoiding contact with other people and staying home for at least 24 hours. Okay. Now, I'm not a doctor. I don't pretend to be one. I don't play one here on TV. Isn't that normal advice? Wouldn't you do that if you were sick with any illness? Like, hey, Bob, I was gonna hang out with you, but I'm not feeling good. I think I've got a cold. I'm just gonna stay home until I feel better. I'm not going anywhere. Just gonna have some chicken soup and binge watch some channel that I like. All right. And that's it. That's the whole article. So their advice, of course, is wear a mask because those are super effective. Covering your coughs and sneezes. Don't you teach like your 4-year-olds to do that stuff? Like cough into your arm or whatever. Now, few people do that stuff, but some people do. Washing your hands, which is something that people probably should be doing anyway. I mean, maybe they want like super hand washing every 15 minutes or something. I don't know. And cleaning. Make sure you clean frequently touched surfaces, even though you've washed your hands already. Man, this is cutting edge advice. Thank you, Dr. Wu. Dr. Wu. Oh my gosh. Song facts about Dr. Wu. The song seems to be about a betrayed loser lover talking to his eccentric shrink, who perhaps has stolen the guy's girl. It features the signature Steely Dan irony. All night long, we would sing that stupid song, and every word we sang, I knew was true. So anyway, I don't know how that ties this all together, but I don't know if I would trust Dr. Wu or Dr. Dumford for that matter. I mean, the stuff just writes itself. Thanks for being here, folks. God bless. And you know what you do? Just stay away from people and you'll be fine.